Hi, welcome back to my channel, and this is a sound off on Kandi and the Gang. So back to this pissing match between Torin and Philip, and like I told y'all last episode, Philip got the right one in Torin because he definitely had to pick up his face a couple of times during this exchange. And that's what you get, Philip, because no one asked you to vet Torin. No one asked you to interview Torin. You took it upon yourself you wanted to mess with that man, and you got what you were looking for. Torin puts Philip in his place, and he goes on about his day. He was like, thank you for letting me see that everybody was right about you. You're exactly what I thought you were. And when I say Torin gathered Philip, he was sitting there looking, his face was cracked. He was sitting there looking stupid as hell, and that's what he deserves. So Torin runs to Kandi, and Philip runs to Don Juan. And they're both giving their sides of the story. And this is my issue with Philip. Philip is so obsessed with people respecting his authority. As long as he's getting the respect that he thinks he deserves to get from the employees, that's all he cares about. It could be going up in flames, and he's like, but they respect that I'm their boss. That's how he acts. So Kandi joins this conversation between Philip and Don Juan. Philip is upset, and he lets Kandi know, like, if y'all want to bring him back, he's going to have to report to you because I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not dealing with that. And so Kandi was like, what you're not going to do is tell me what you're not going to do. Okay, you told me that you're used to handling difficult situations, and this is one of them. So do what you say you know how to do. He forgot how he got his job, right? He forgot all the game he was spitting when he was trying to get hired by Kandi. And Kandi had to remind him real slick. And in the confessional, she was like, I pay you, you don't pay me. I wish she had said that to him in the moment because he really tried it. So Patrick, Kandi's cousin, I wonder, is Patrick named after Kandi's brother that passed away? I think that was Kandi's brother's name. I don't know, I might be wrong. But yeah. So Torin goes over to Patrick's house to help him decorate, and they're having a little cute scene, and it's so funny. And I really like this cast, okay? Even Chandrika done grew on me, okay? I really like this cast, except that Brandon, and we're gonna get into that. So over at the OLG, Dominique, who is the dancer slash bartender, is late for her shift. Brian and Chandrika are having to pick up the slack. They're having to clean up. They're trying to get things together. And Brandon, who's the manager, is just kind of standing there on his phone texting. And they're like, Brandon, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm calling someone about this sink. And apparently the sink is clogged, and it's just like there was all types of filth and nasty and disgusting and inappropriateness going on in that sink behind that bar. Why did y'all hire Brandon? Brandon is extremely useless in this situation right now. He says he's texting someone. There was so much wrong with this scene. Like, the whole video could be about this scene. Brandon, first of all, why are you on the floor on your phone? Do y'all not have a back room? Do y'all not have a manager's office? Do y'all not have something? Like, why are you in the middle of this floor texting behind the bar and the bar looking like that? Brandon needs to go. Brandon, you get a lemon for that. That's 1 lemon for you, Brandon. Okay? That sink, you get like 3 lemons for that. That sink was nasty. I don't even want to talk about it because it makes my skin crawl. So later on, we see Brandon is sitting at the bar eating. How the fuck do you feel so comfortable to eat when you've seen that sink? My appetite would have evaporated after seeing that sink. And you sat your ass there at the bar, one whole manager you, sitting at that bar, eating chicken or neck bones, whatever you was eating at the bar in the middle of your shift. You get another lemon for that. I forgot to say, the fool, he gonna FaceTime Dominique. That's another lemon for you, Brandon. Why are you FaceTiming your employees in the middle of the floor? Again, is there no back room for you to be in to do such things? Anywho, Dominique looked like I don't know what she was doing. She said she was dancing and she was about to come to work, but she's like an hour late. I think she eventually gets there 2 hours late. So he just has this nonchalant attitude after he calls Dominique and she says she's on her way. And he's sitting there enjoying his meal at the bar, even though everything around him is going to shit. And it's just like, to me, you're not a good manager. Like, sir, your restaurant is going to shit and you're sitting at the bar having yourself a meal. You're the manager. As a manager, when you see things falling apart, you're supposed to roll up them sleeves and get to doing something. Fix that sink, make sure these tables are clean. You shouldn't be asking any of the employees to do anything that you wouldn't do. So if you see that you guys are short-staffed and everything else going a mess, you're supposed to jump in there and fix it. As a manager, you're not supposed to be too good to get your hands dirty if it means that things run smoothly. So you beating your chest, put some respect on your name being a manager. No respect on your name. Only lemons. You get some more lemons for that. He says, oh, I'm the manager. It's not my job to be doing stuff. It is your job. It's your job. Your job is not to just throw away, oh, I'm the manager and what I say goes. So as we're waiting for Dominique to arrive, Brian is like, look, my customers are ordering drinks and there's no one here to make the drinks. And he was like, you know, Mr. Man over there eating his chicken and he don't care nothing about your customers needing their drinks. Brian runs behind the bar, and I don't know why he did that. He should not have done that, but whatever. He runs behind the bar and he's like, Brandon, you need to be back here making the drinks. And he was like, well, I called Dom. I can't just magically make her appear. He was like, yeah, but you can come back here and make some of these drinks. He was like, well, you back there, you make them. He is a shitty manager. So Brian makes the drinks. And we already learned last episode that Brian has had some struggles in the past. And this is not really healthy for him to be behind the bar. And Brandon, your ass knows this. So why you would say for Brian to be behind the bar, that really irked me. As soon as you saw him walking back there, you should have said, no, come from behind there. Eventually, Dominique gets there and she relieves Brian of his duty, and she wants to know why behind the bar is so disgusting and nasty. And we want to know too, Dominique. We want to know, girl. It's like that because you weren't here. Y'all lied. That's a lie. It's not like that because Dominique wasn't there. Because if Dominique wasn't there, somebody should have cleaned it up. It should have never looked like that. Her being there or not being there, it should have never looked like that. So that was a whole lie. So she gets in there and it seemed like, I don't think the sink was really even clogged. Well, it was clogged with something because it was a lot of shit going on in that sink. But Dominique gets in there, she puts her gloves on, she pours some shit up in there, and it seemed like she get everything together. So I don't know why that couldn't be, why no one else could have done that. But anyways, as the day is going by, I think at some point, Brian sits at the bar with Rashard. I think that's his name. The guy that said he was flying, you know, giving us fashions, but he really worked at Blaze. And I think he's supposed to be there mentoring Chandrika. That dude. Brian, I love you, boo. But you know you weren't supposed to be sitting at that bar. But if your manager is sitting at the bar, having himself a Monte Crystal, I can't even be mad at you for having a 2-minute sit at the bar. I really can't even blame Brian for that. Although, Brian, you know you weren't supposed to be sitting there. So Brandon tries to reprimand Brian, and Brian is like, I know you lying. Not the person that was over there eating mac and cheese and greens at the counter. You can't be telling me I can't have a seat at the bar. And they start going back and forth. It really wasn't that deep. So Brandon decides to escalate this matter to Philip, and Philip is ready to be just mad about life and the world and everything else. And so Philip, instead of having a conversation with the three of them, he decides to escalate the matter to Don Juan. And I just didn't even understand why you brought Don Juan into this, but whatever. They sit down with Don Juan, they bring Brian over, and Philip is TT go. He's just ready to just pounce on Brian. And Brian was handling him effortlessly. And he was like, he was saying a lot of slick stuff, and Brian was just eating him up. And eventually he decides to suspend Brian. And Brian is like, based on what? And Don Juan is like looking at them and like trying to nudge him. He's like, let's take a walk. So he takes a walk with Brian and they go outside and they're talking about it, going back and forth. And he's explaining to Brian, you know, you can't be acting like this. This is your boss. You have to, appreciate what he's letting you know. You can't be talking to him crazy. You cannot just do what you want to do. And he's like, so, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and log out for me. And he leaves. And I was really upset with that because I don't like that. Don't play with my Brian. I love my Brian. Don't play with my baby. I don't like that. But anyways, Brian leaves, and Don Juan and Philip have a conversation, a one-on-one conversation. And Don Juan is like, look, this is the third incident with you and somebody else. Like, you got to stop this. And you giving ultimatums every time you don't get your way, that ain't gonna work either. And Philip is just like, he's undermining my authority. You went out there and you had a conversation with him, and da-da-da-da-da. And it's just like, not Mr. Professional. Mr. Professional loses his shit. He gets up and he walks away from Don Juan, and he goes in his car to continue having a hissy fit. And he's saying how he doesn't like this, and this is not professional, and this doesn't work for him, and blah, 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 blah. And I can understand if it doesn't work for you. I get that. But it's like, Philip, you're doing too much. You're becoming very obnoxious. And Philip gets a kick out of saying he's so professional, and he's so this, and he's so stern, and he lives his life this way, and da-da-da-da-da-da. But Philip, you full of shit. Because every time you get into a situation with these employees, first of all, I don't know why you should be getting into pissing matches with the employees, but whatever. He always has to throw a personal dig at one of them. He called Torin Big Bird. He said he doesn't go back and forth with Chandrika because she's an hourly employee. You're coming at Brian saying that he's lazy and he don't do nothing. But when you weren't even there, he was picking up the slack for Brandon and Dominique. That man went behind the bar and was making drinks for the customers at the same time serving them. How dare you call that man lazy? That shit pissed me off. Because you wasn't even there, beloved. You don't even know what's been going on in the restaurant. That you're supposed to be the boss. You're supposed to know everything. You weren't even here. So you have a lot of nerve. I'm sick of you. You're supposed to be the manager. If you had half of that energy for that sink, I would respect you. But you didn't. So I'm giving you a lemon because that pissed me off. You really went at Brian huffing and puffing, and you really didn't even know what was going on in the restaurant. But Brandon, you ain't shit. You snitched on Brian to cover your tracks. Why you didn't tell Philip that Dominique was 2 hours late? Why you didn't tell him you was sitting at the counter eating chicken wings, and that's why Brian thought he could take a 2-minute break and sit at the bar? Why you didn't do that? What's his name? Philip. Philip is in the car talking about Don Juan is the problem because he's undermining your authority. That's your fault. Because you escalated the matter to Don Juan in the first place. Y'all could have handled that amongst yourselves. You didn't have to involve Don Juan. So shut up. So I think we head over to Mama Joyce's house. If this is not her house, then y'all forgive me. But Chandrika is teaching the old lady gang water aerobics. And she says she's, a swimming instructor, and she's been swimming since she was a little thing. And so she getting them, she getting them active. It was a cute little scene. I enjoyed it. Bertha did not. And I guess it was just a little filler scene. It was cute for what it was, They get out the water at some point and they go have, I think they had a little barbecue or some hot dogs. I don't know. But they're eating, and they let Kandi know that Philip suspended Brian. And Mama Joyce is pleased. She was like, yeah, something's being done. And it's just like, Mama Joyce, if you only knew. You ain't see that sink. That's why you're talking like that. Because you wouldn't be giving nobody no praises if you seen that sink. But anywho, Mama Joyce is letting them know, like, Philip is here and I like Philip. And they're talking in the confessionals about how much she likes Philip. And Bertha does not. And neither do I. But Chandrika's like, well, he suspended me. She was like, and whatever he did, I bet you ain't do it no more. And she's like, but I really didn't do nothing. And I feel like, yes and no. You were rude to him. You were rude. You did a little bit of something. Did it require being suspended and told to go home? I don't think so. But, whatever. So anyways, it's a new scene, and Brian and Torin are meeting up at an ice cream shop. And Torrin, I guess, wanted to, talk to Brian one-on-one and say, I'm sorry about the way that I left. I know you've gone through a lot. You went through a lot last year, but I just really want you to know that I'm here for you, that I'm here to support you. And Brian lets us know in the confessional that, he kind of pushed Torrin away while he was spiraling, while he was going through what he was going through. And this scene really made me cry. I cried. Like, I really did. I don't know what's happening to me in my old age. Like, I just cry when I don't know what it is. Like, but I be just crying. But anyway, Brian opens up about his struggles. Like, he goes into further details about what really, he experienced. And apparently, like, he was going through it. And he snapped out of it at some point. He found, he worked through his struggles. But recently, his sister unalived herself. And he's dealing with that. And he's just like, he's really upset. He's sad that his sister can't even be here to see him, what he's doing with his life and how he's fighting his struggles daily. And I have chills just speaking about it, because I also watched the speak on it that Kandi did with him. And it's just like, it's a lot. Life, like Dominique said earlier, life be lifing. Things be happening, and people, you see them and they're just so happy, and they make you happy, put a smile on your face, and we really don't be knowing what people go through. I'm rooting for Brian. I want to see Brian do amazing things in this world. Like, I am just sending him positive energy. I want to see him shine. Like, he is such a beautiful person. Like, I'm rooting for you, Brian. But Torrin lets him know, like, I'm your friend. I got you. I'm going to be here. And I was really happy to see that. He said in the speak on it that he did with Kandi, he said that, when he was spiraling, things got so bad for him at one point that when he realized he wanted help, he was calling people and nobody was taking his calls. And he said, you know who took my call? Don Juan. And I have been hard on Don Juan over the years, okay? When Don Juan chased Portia up out that party, talking about that's why you ain't got no man, I have been holding a grudge against Don Juan all these years. But the show has really made me really, really like Don Juan. I can't believe I'm saying that. But when he said that, that really touched me. He was like, you know who answered the phone for me? Don Juan. And it's just like, we know Don Juan loves Kandi. But that shows that he really is, like, a good person. For somebody to, the things that Brian was explaining that he went through, and he was like, his own family wasn't answering the calls, but Don Juan did. That will always stick with me. That's how I'm going to see Don Juan from this moment on. Don Juan don't do no stupid shit that make me mad at you. But I was really touched by that, but Brian is amazing. Philip, if you mess with my Brian again, we're going to have some problems, because I didn't like that. But pretty much that's really all that happened. That's my sound off. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.